We can't hear you.
It's on mute.
Sorry, guys. All right, let's start again. Thanks for letting me know. I'm on mute. Great. Okay, so everyone get on your mat, settle, and you'll want a notebook and a pen. So open to a blank page, or grab your sheet of paper, grab your pen, and we're gonna do a little prompt about what mindfulness is. So I want you to write down this definition of mindfulness at the top of the page. So it says mindfulness is being present, paying attention in a particular way. Yeah.
We don't have an extra pen for our
The 20th. Does anyone have an extra pen and pencil? I don't, I'm sorry. So mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. Please write this at the top of your page. Mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. On purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. So that's from John Kabat-Zinn, who is a meditation teacher, mindfulness instructor. And now I just want you to spend a couple minutes writing about what your personal definition of mindfulness is.
You read that one more time?
Yeah. Mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. You may kind of reflect on maybe ways that you really can be more everyone. All right. So we're just journaling here. And so CBD, just kind of keep writing, write whatever comes to mind, stream of consciousness, reflecting on what mindfulness means to you. And maybe what this definition brings up, and how you apply mindfulness in your own life, or how you plan on starting to implement that. Does anyone need more time? Does anyone want to share what they wrote or what came up for them? Any reflections?
I said mindfulness to me is being aware of what the situation is and about other people's issues and beliefs, and also about yourself and how you feel and what you're going through.
Anyone else? If you're on Zoom and you want to participate and share what you wrote, you can unmute yourself and share. Well, with that, we'll start our asana practice. We'll start to move through our postures. Does anyone have any questions about some of the assignments I posted as far as reading goes or anything like that? You're doing your journals every day. So on Thursday, I'm going to check your journals, and you should have at that point 6 or 5 entries. So every day of class, you should have an entry. So, yeah. Or actually, you shouldn't, because we didn't have class that one time, but you had an assignment to write, so you should. Anyway, I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Today I'll have like, oh wait, no, I have 5.
Okay.
That's only me.
So the second Thursday of the semester, we didn't have class, but you were supposed to participate, do something on your own, and then do a meditation, and then journal on that. So, any other questions? Okay, and then if you're doing class online, if you're quarantining right now, you'll just take pictures of your notebooks and send them to me. All right, so let's begin lying down today. Does anyone have anything they want to work on? How's your body feeling? Energy levels are low. Okay, so let's start lying down on the back. So come on down, lie down. And everyone on Zoom, if you can just put your video on so I can see you, that would be great. All right, so lie down on your back. You can let your arms come down by your sides, arms to the back, let your legs go long. And if that doesn't feel good, if that's uncomfortable for your back, so bend your knees and put your feet on. And then just take this time to kind of arrive into the space. Lay onto the mat in an intentional way. So begin by kind of scanning the body. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And just start to notice and feel, start to relax. Breathe in. Exhale. And on your exhale, see if you can keep the mouth closed. So breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And see if you can really send the breath down into your low belly. Inhale and exhale. Full breath in, full breath out. Now see if you can start to lengthen your exhales, making them longer than your inhales. So if you inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, see if you can exhale out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So make your exhales twice as long. So breathe in and then breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Deep breath in and a complete breath out. And just notice how you feel Lying down, relaxing, trying to just connect into the present moment. So mindful awareness and attention of how your body feels. Maybe you notice the quality of your thoughts, what's going on in your mind, if you're fidgety, anxious, or just calm. So you're just noticing here, showing up and paying attention. And here I invite you to set an intention for your practice today, choosing a word to focus on or a phrase. Choosing a word maybe like health, relaxation, or peace. That feels really true to you. Breath in, big exhale. Weren't you just on Zoom?
Huh?
Weren't you just on Zoom?
Yeah, I thought I was on Zoom for a minute. And then I saw y'all here.
Just take one more deep breath here. And you're clear about that intention, like the goal or theme you might do. So inhale. And exhale. And then just rest one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Really connecting inward. And just invite in for the next hour or so rest, relaxation, presence, getting focused and clear. Now from here, let your feet go long to the bottom of the mat and then stretch your arms up and overhead. So stretch your arms up and your feet down, reach your body top to bottom, stretch. And then bend your knees into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze. Rock from side to side here, just gently. You can kind of draw your knees in and then release your knees away, side to side or circles. So today's class is going to be a little maybe slower and more gentle, so we have time to really pay attention. From here, place your feet down on the mat, bend your knees, and then lift your hips. Drop your hips over to the right and move your knees over to the left. Open your arms out to a T for a spinal twist. As you stretch your arms open, gaze to the right, so you're looking the opposite direction your knees are going. And just breathe here in the twist, allowing your body to get really settled and still. And then come back to center. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. You can rock a little side to side. And then plant your feet down, lift your hips, move your hips to the left, and drop your knees open to the right. Arms stretch out to a T, gaze left. So you're looking the opposite direction your knees are going. Gentle waking up for the spine. And then slowly come back to center. Align your hips right underneath you. Hug your knees into your chest again. And rock side to side. And then grab behind your thighs so you can rock a little up and down along your spine, up and down. And then rock up into a seated position. Come to face forward. This will be nice and tall. You kind of adjust a little side to side, bring your hands under your knees, flip side to side, a little forward and back. And if this is not comfortable for you, you can always extend your legs straight out or cross-legged is not comfortable. Just sit nice and tall and then bring your shoulders up towards your ears and then circle your shoulders around, back and down. And then two more up, around, back and down. Good, up, around, back and down. And then give your shoulders a little shimmy at the bottom. Let your hands rest down on your knees or your thighs. Take a full breath in. And then exhale. And then pay attention, noticing where the breath is in your body. Breathe in. And breathe out. Notice if you can feel your breath move down into your low belly. If you feel a full exhale on your upper lip. So just see if you can make your breath nice and deep. Breathe in. Exhale. And then hands again come to your heart, palms touch. Maybe thumbs at the middle of your chest. And again, kind of reaffirm that intention. So a word you want to focus on today in practice, or maybe when you leave class. Maybe a word like service, trying to be a helper. A word like productivity or presence, so whatever feels right for you. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Now press your palms together and stretch your arms up. And then reach your arms out and down by your sides. So now we'll start to gently connect the breath and the movement. So inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and up. And then exhale, float your arms out to the sides and down, taking your time. Inhale, arms stretch out to the sides and up. And then exhale, float your arms out to the sides and down. One more time. Inhale, arms stretch up. And now bring your right hand down beside you. Stretch your left arm up and over for a side bend. You can pull that top shoulder back. You can even land on your bottom forearm. So you can kind of look down at your body, try to align yourself in a comfortable way. Good, and then rise back up and turn to the right and twist. Good. One hand outside your knee, maybe one hand behind your back. Inhale, lift tall, and then exhale, twist. Good, and then spin around to face forward. Bring your hands on your knees, round your spine, shift back from chin to chest, round, round, round. Good, lift up and then arch your spine. Draw your shoulders down your back, shift forward. Good, hands on your knees, round your spine, chin to chest, shift back. Good, lift up and then arch your spine, shift forward. Good, now start to make some circles as you bring yourself to the side, back, to the side, forward. Gently kind of warming up the spine here. You feel your ribs, your hips start to open a little. Good. And then switch and go the other direction, turn into circles. Good. Come back to center and then place your hands behind you, uncross your legs, place your feet down, sway your knees a little side to side, a little swish, a little sway. Good. And then come back into a cross-legged position. See if you can bring your opposite leg in front. Good. Sitting nice and tall, arms down by your sides. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. And then exhale, lower your left hand down by your side. Stretch your right arm up and over. Maybe that top shoulder draws back. You can look up. You can come down to your bottom forearm, breathe. And slowly rise back up and twist to the left. Right hand outside the left knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Good. And then spin around to face forward. Hands on your knees, round your spine, shift back. Good. Lift up now. Twist here. Go left shoulder to the right knee. You're going to bow your chest down. And then lift up and then switch. And then twist. Your opposite shoulder to opposite knee. Again, a little twist, lift, twist, lift. Good. And then uncross your legs. Place your hands behind you. Feet toward the edges of the mat. Gently sway your knees side to side. Good. And then press down into your hands and your feet. Lift your hips up for a reverse table pose. Good. Lower down. And then swing your legs around behind you. Press back into child's pose. So big toes touch, knees go wide. Send your hips to your heels, stretch your arms forward. Let your forehead rest on the mat. And then here, maybe you gently rock your forehead, temple to temple. Maybe you rock your hips a little side to side. And start to feel a lengthening along your spine. Think about creating space between each little vertebrae there. And always remember that at any time you can skip the pose, you can do something different. So I always want to empower you to know and trust your own body. So you can add on, you can take away. Really learning and building a relationship with your body and how it moves. Inhale and exhale. Anytime if you want to rest in child's pose, you can come here. slowly start to move on. So think about hips drawing back a little more. Stretch your arms forward further. And then lift your gaze, come up to your fingertips, and walk your upper body over to the right. Your hands come off the mat. And see if you can feel stretch in your left side. And then lift your gaze up on fingertips. Walk your way to center and then over to the left. Feel stretch to your right side. Good, up on fingertips. Walk your way back to center, child's pose. Good, and then rise up to all fours, tabletop position. Spread your fingers nice and wide, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. So make a nice flat back. So notice what your spine is doing here. See if you can really pull your front body to your back body, long spine. Good, now tuck your toes and arch your spine. Lift your gaze up and stick your butt up. Draw your shoulders down. Good, now point your toes and round your spine for cat, chin to chest. Press the floor away. Good, inhale, tuck your toes, arch your spine, cow, maybe shift a little forward. And then exhale, arch and round for cat. One more time. Inhale for cow pose, shrug your shoulders down, maybe shift a little more forward. Good, point your toes and round your spine, cat. Now hold that rounded cat position and move your hips a little side to side. Shift back and forth in that rounded pose, and then shift your shoulders back and forth. Good, and then come to a neutral table pose. Walk your knees back, tuck your toes, stretch your arms forward. And bring your knees together. Good, now shift forward, gonna drop your hips, look forward, and then bend your elbows, chaturanga on your knees. Good, straighten your arms and press back. So think tricep push-up with your knees down, so you have that little extra support. Shift forward, look forward, elbows bend. Good, straighten, and then shift back. Good, do that 2 more times. So shifting forward, nice flat back, elbows squeeze. Push up, and then back, and then 1 more time, shift forward, nice and slow, chaturanga. Good, all the way to the belly. Stretch your legs back behind you. Good, bring your hands down by your sides and flip your palms up. So you're gonna get a little wrist stretch here. Pull your elbows in, good, and then lift up. Stretch of the wrists, breathe. And then lower down. Bring your palms down, fingers face forward, and then inhale, lift up for cobra. Little back bend. Maybe you hover your hands. Use your strong core. Good, and then lower. And then this time, inhale, lift up, cobra or up dog. Maybe straighten your arms, lift your chest a little more. You can shift side to side, look left, look right. Good, press back to child's pose, back of the mat. Now inhale a deep breath and rise up. Come to all fours and then shift your hips forward to the right and the left. And then circle your hips back around left and right. And then 2 more like that. Just circle forward, to the side, back around. 1 more. And then switch. Circle forward, left, right. Back, right, left. Nice big circles, breathing deep. Good, and then find tabletop position, all fours. Breath in. Exhale. Stretch your right leg back behind you. Tuck your toes. You're gonna stretch behind the calf there. Maybe you shift a little forward and back. And then see if you can lift your right leg up to a hover. Hold it. Good, and then maybe balance and stretch your left arm forward and hold. Good, keep breathing. Pull your front body to your back, lengthen through your neck. So gaze forward, reach, reach, reach. Good, and then lower all fours, table. Rock your hips gently from side to side. Good, so other side, stretch your left leg back. Tuck your toes. And feel a stretch behind the leg. And then from your core, lift your leg up, balance. Hold it there or reach your opposite arm out in front of you. Good. Lengthen, pull the front body to back, reach, 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 hold. Keep breathing. And then lower down, table, rock your hips from side to side. So adding on from there, stretch your right leg back, reach your left arm forward, and then pull your elbow knee into center, squeeze, and then reach, extend. Good, elbow knee, draw to center, reach it forward and back. 1 more time, draw it in, reach it. Good, now put your left hand down and turn your left toes behind your left knee. Put your right foot down on the back of the mat, so spin to face the chalkboard wall, and then rise up from feet pose. Good, shoulders over your hips, arms spread out wide. I'm just gonna circle your wrists a little bit. Good, in the other direction. Good, and then arms stretch out to a T. Tilt your right hand down your right leg. Left arm goes up and over. Good, rise back up. Arms stretch out wide. Now tuck your left toes. Bring your hands forward and kind of shift your hips back for a stretch in your hamstring. Maybe you can come onto your forearms. It might feel good to shift a little forward and back here. So left toes are tucked, right foot is on the mat, and then maybe just rock a little forward and back and notice how that feels. And then now straighten your arms, spin around to face forward. Good, tabletop position, move your hips gently side to side. Good, do another cat-cow, so tuck your toes and arch your spine, lift up. Good, and then point your toes and round your spine, draw it in. Good, neutral, nice butt back. Good, stretch your left leg back, and your right arm forward. Good, now nice and slow, control elbow, knee, draw into center. Extend forward and back. Elbow and knee squeeze in. And then reach it, keep breathing one more time, draw in. Extend, now lower your right hand down, spin your right foot behind your right knee, left foot to the back of the mat. Good, reach your left arm up and rise up, so you're facing the concrete wall, arms stretch out wide. Again, circle your wrists a little bit here. Good, maybe flick your fingers. Good, and then tilt, left hand down, right arm goes up and over. Good, rise back up. And then shift your hips back with your right toes tucked underneath you, draw back. Maybe your elbows come down to your forearms. And you can shift a little here, forward and back. See if you can really feel that stretch happening in the left and the hamstring there. Breathe. And then slowly straighten your arms, lift your chest. Good, spin around to face forward, tabletop position. Breathe in and exhale. Stretch your left arm up towards the ceiling. Good, now weave the left arm underneath the right, let the left ear come down. Good, thread the needle pose. Right hand can stay in front of your face. You could stretch that right arm forward or bring it behind your back. You can also tuck your right toes and stretch your right leg to the back of the mat. So a little twist through your spine, open through your shoulders, breathe. Good. And then plank that right hand down in front of your face. Stretch your left arm up. Good, circle your arm around a couple of times. Good, and then the other direction. Good, and then left hand comes down next to right, table pose, breathe in. Exhale. Stretch your right arm up. Weave the right arm underneath the left. Let your right ear rest. Hips stay lifted. Left hand can be in front of your face. You can stretch it forward. Maybe reach it behind your back. And just notice where the sensations are here in the pose. And then left hand down in front of your face. Stretch your right arm back up. Good, and then nice big circles. Arm goes up, back and around, up, back and around. Good, and then switch, circle your arm forward, down and around. Good. And then find tabletop position. Good, so spread your fingers really wide. Make like big palm prints with your hands. And see if you can get your whole palm down. Like really root into the knuckles, the base of the fingers. And then make sure the first finger is forward. So make sure you're not going in, but almost out a little bit. Good, and then tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Good, so spread your fingers wide, press into the bottoms of the fingers. Good, and then lift high up onto your tippy toes. And then lower your right heel down, bend your left knee. And then switch, left heel lowers, right knee bends. So go switch and switch. Pedaling out your feet, walking out your dog. Maybe look high into your toes and drop your heels to the right. Point your knees to the left, so a little twist there. Good, and then come to center, down dog. Lift high into your toes and shift forward to plank pose. Top of a push-up, nice strong plank. Hips in line with your shoulders, really press the mat away. And then lift your hips up and back, down dog. Again, high up onto your tippy toes, maybe a little bend of your knees. Shift forward to plank. Good, now from plank you can take your push-up or drop to your knees, chaturanga, lower down. Come all the way to the mat and then rise up for cobra or up dog. And then back to downward facing dog. Full breath in. Big exhale. Walk your hands back to your feet. Come to the back of the mat and fold. Bend your knees a lot. Let your upper body hang, sway. And then place your left hand down in front of your face. Reach your right arm up and twist. You can bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Good, and then fold. Switch, right hand down, left arm reaches. Twist, maybe reach up through that left arm. Good, lower your hands down, bend your knees and fold. And then slowly with control, roll your spine up to stand. Take your time to rise all the way up, circle your shoulders, up, back, and around. Up, back, and around. Good, up, back, and around. And then give your hands a little bit of a shake, shake, shake. Shake out your hands, your wrists. You kind of shrug your shoulders a little. Good, and then kind of shake out one leg, just moving some energy, shake out your other leg. Maybe bob your heels a little bit. Good, and then just find your mountain pose and really notice how you're standing. So what direction are your feet going? Notice if you're like hands in pockets, hands on your body. So you can just relax your arms down by your sides and lift tall from the crown of the head. So maybe bring your shoulders back over your hips a little. Lift here, breathe in. And exhale. Good, inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and up. And then exhale, float your arms out to the sides and down. So gentle movement, matching the breath with the movement. Inhale, arms stretch up. And then exhale, lower your arms down. Good, one more time, inhale, arms stretch up. And take your right hand to your left wrist, stretch tall, and hinge up and over to the right. Gentle side bend where you can pull that top shoulder back. Good, and then back to center, switch your grip, reach up, and then hinge over to the side. And top shoulder draws back, and your chin lifts. Good, back to center, bend your elbows to a cactus position, think like a goalpost. And then option to press your hips forward, chest forward, go back bend. Good, back to center, and then bend your knees and forward fold. Let your hands come down, you can pedal your feet, right knee bends, left knee bends. And then bring your hands up to your shins, look forward and lengthen. Good, refold. Stretch your arms out to the sides as you rise all the way to stand, reach up, lift up. Good, and then hands come to your heart in mountain pose. Breathe in and exhale. So let's do that again, lower your arms down, and then inhale, stretch your arms up. Take your right hand to your left wrist, stretch tall, and then hinge up and over to the right, little side bend. Good, back to center, switch, left hand, right wrist. Maybe bend your knees, get taller, hinge up and over to the left. Good, back to center, bend your elbows through that cactus position, maybe a little bit of a back bend. Good, come to center, and then bend your knees and forward fold. Heel toe your feet open toward the edges of the mat for a little squat pose, malasana. Go heels in, toes out, and see if you can bend your knees and get your seat super low. Maybe you can drop your heels, stretch your arms forward. Good. And just notice the sensation you feel here. One more breath. Good. And then hands to the floor, straighten your legs and forward fold. Good. Bring your hands up to your shins, look forward, make a flat back position, halfway lift. Good. Then plant your hands and walk yourself out into a plank position. Hold here or take a flow, which means moving into a yogi push-up. Up dog or cobra, kind of scoop your chest through. Good, downward facing dog. Breathe in, complete exhale. And then from here, come down onto your knees in tabletop position. Stretch your right leg back behind you. And then step your right foot forward. Hands come down, turning that foot, kind of stretch your left leg back, pull your chest through. Good, and then straighten your front leg, shift your hips back. Bend into your front knee and shift forward. You can also place your hands on top of your thigh, shift it back. Good, shift it forward. Good, next time you come back, hold it here. So if you're really tight and this is uncomfortable, you can come up and maybe kind of lean, or if you can bring your hands down, kind of hold that stretch, the right heel to left knee, maybe kind of turn your toes out, point your toes in, maybe point your foot down, stretch on the top of the foot, flex and curl your toes back. Good, now bend into your front knee and walk your right foot to the edge of the mat, bring your hands down inside the foot. Now see if you can lift your back knee up. Good, and spin your left foot down. Good, bring your right forearm onto your thigh and stretch your left arm up and over. Extended side angle, good. Rise all the way up to warrior two. Drop your shoulders down, gaze forward. Good, reverse your warrior, take it back. Good, rise up, extended side angle. Good, rise back up. Now bring your hands to your heart, maybe walk your back foot in. Spin around to face forward, think crescent pose. Good, and then see if from here you can spring up, balancing on the right leg, bring your left knee into your chest. Maybe you hug your knee, draw it in, circle your ankle a little, good, and then the other way. Good, bring the left foot into tree pose. So solo foot inside the leg, hands at the heart. Yeah, you can do on your thigh, your calf, or maybe just your heel lifts to the ankle. And then from tree, maybe you reach your arms up. Nice. And then hands to the heart, bring your front knee forward, stretch it straight. And then let it kind of swing and sway, let your arms sway. Good. Left foot comes down next to the right, mountain pose, top of the mat, breath in. And exhale. Inhale, stretch your arms up. And then exhale, bend your knees and forward fold, hands to the floor. Lengthen your spine as you look forward. Good, plant your hands and step your feet back, downward facing dog. Breathe in, exhale. Good, drop down onto your knees, come to a tabletop position. And then take a cat-cow in between sides, so arch your spine, lift your chest, lift your hips. Good, point your toes and round your spine, catch it in. Good, then come to a neutral tabletop position. Stretch your left leg back behind you. Good, and then step your left foot forward. Drop your back knee down, pull your chest through, low lunge. Good, now straighten your front leg as your hips shift back. Good, bend into your front knee as your hips shift forward. Take your time, you can also bring your hands on top of your leg. Good, next time you come back, hold it back. Your left heel dragging towards your right knee, chest over your thighs. You can turn your toes out, point your toes in, really flex your foot and point your toes. Good, then rebend into your front knee. Plant your hands down, walk your left foot to the left, lift your back knee and spin your back heel down. Good, bring your left forearm onto your thigh and stretch your right arm up. And then maybe over, extended side angle. So bend into the front knee, the leg that's closest to me. Left leg, left toes point forward. Good, and then rise up for warrior two. Arms stretch out nice and wide, shoulders draw down. Good, reverse your warrior, take it down. Good, rise back up, warrior two, and then extended side angle. Good, rise back to warrior two. Bring your hands to your heart. Walk your back foot in, and then lift your back heel, face forward with a lunge. And then see if you can spring up and lift your right knee up into your chest. Good, maybe roll your ankle a little bit. Good, and then bring the sole of the foot inside that inner thigh. For tree pose, you can also have your foot, just your heel lifting toes down for balance. Good. So calf or thigh, kind of try to go above or below the knee. Good, maybe your arms stretch up. Then you open your arms out, gaze up. Good. And then bring your hands together, slowly lower them to your heart. Bring that leg forward, and then just give a little swing. You can kind of sway your arms. And then lower your right foot next to your left. Circle your shoulders up, back and around, up, back and around. And then circle your right arm up, back and around, kind of look back at it. And then your left arm, it's almost like you're doing a little bit of a back stroke. Good. And then see if you can reach both arms up. Bring your left arm forward and your right arm back. So alternate. Yeah, it can be a tricky one. And then right arm forward, left arm back. And slowly you can circle, open up your shoulders. Good, back up. And then bring your left arm down, switch your right arm up and over. You can bring your left hand onto your hip, roll your top wrist a little bit, circle. Good, come back up and then switch, hand on your hip. Arm reaches up and over, circle your wrist. Good, back to center. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your palms together, draw your shoulders back and down, and then hinge and fold. Your head drop and then keep your hands squeezing together behind your back, stretch through your shoulders. And then release, lower your hands down. Lengthen your spine, look forward, and then walk your hands out to downward facing dog. Option for one last flow, shift forward to plank. From here, with your knees down, lower chaturanga. Good, now this time come into a back bend with your forearms down in front of you, Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms down, palms spread wide. Pull your chest through. Breathe. Good, so kind of an isometric hold. Think about really dragging your elbows toward your hips. And then from here, slowly come down to the belly, and then stack your palms one on top of the other. Let your forehead rest on your hands. Maybe you shake your hips a little here, side to side. Breathe. And then think about really breathing down into the belly, into the floor, pressing the floor away. And then bring your forearms down in front of you again. Look forward, drop back into your Sphinx pose. And then bend your right knee up towards your waist, keeping your foot on the floor. Straighten your right arm and weave your left arm underneath, so you can let your left ear come towards the floor. And you might kind of roll onto your left side a little more. That right arm can be stretching forward, overhead, or right hand onto your left hand. And now from here, stretch your right arm up towards the sky and open over to the left. So kind of roll towards your back. It might feel good to keep that right arm kind of dangling there in a balance. Feel stretch along the front of your shoulder. Good. And then from here, roll all the way onto your back. Good. Crossing your right leg over you. Open your arms out to a T, gaze to the right. Good. Feel that twist. Making some space along your spine. Breathe in. Let go. Good. Come back onto your back. So lie all the way down, center yourself on your mat, and then hug your right knee into your chest. And you can rock your legs side to side, across, maybe squeeze in, release. And then option here to lift your upper body up off the mat, bring your nose towards your knee, squeeze in. And then lower down. Now stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling. Grab behind your thigh, circle your ankle, and then the other direction. You really flex your foot back toward your face. An option here to walk your hands up your leg. Maybe go a little bit deeper in your stretch. Good, breathe. And then lower back down, stretch your right leg out to the right. You can bend your knee and open it, or keep that leg straight. Maybe you have your hand outside the knee. You can also place your left hand on top of your left hip to kind of anchor the back down. Yeah, good. So you might feel a lot of sensation or a little here, just noticing. And then with control, slowly bring your right leg back up to center and cross it over your body, just a couple inches, kind of flex your foot and see if you can feel a stretch in the outside of the leg there. Good. Bring your leg back up to center. Now again, bend your knee, pull it in, rock side to side. And then stretch your right leg long to the bottom of the mat. Arms come long by your side, breathe in. Exhale. Now from here, spin around to come back to your belly. So come, spin around, bring your forearms down, elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms spread, pull your chest through, Sphinx pose. And then the other side, bend your left knee and glide it up towards your waist, keeping your foot on the floor. Good. See if you can start to straighten your arms and leave your right arm underneath your left. And then maybe have your right ear on the floor. And keep your left hand in front of your face, or stretch your left arm up or overhead. This is a really good stretch for your mid back, so see if you can notice there and feel. And as you're ready, stretch your left arm up and start to draw it open towards the left. In your middle place, feeling a stretch along the front of your shoulder, your chest, breathe. And then see if you can roll all the way onto your back, let your left arm come down and find a twist. Spinal twist. So right leg is long, left knee is bent. Yeah, you might need to kind of center yourself back on the mat. Breathe. Make sure that opening along the front of your chest. And then slowly roll to the back. Come all the way onto your back. Let your right leg go long. And then bend your left knee into your chest. Good. Give it a squeeze in. Grab kind of right below the kneecap and really hug your knee in. Maybe try to draw it down outside your ribs towards your left shoulder. And then option to curl your shoulders up off the mat. Maybe bring your nose towards your knee. And then lower, stretch your left leg straight towards the sky. Maybe grab behind your thigh. You can point and flex your foot, roll that ankle. And an option here to walk your hands up the leg. Maybe pull that leg in towards you a little closer. Good. Slowly lower down and open your left leg off to the left. You can kind of grab behind your left calf. Maybe right hand onto your hip. Maybe bind your toe. And slowly bring your leg back up to center. Pause at the middle. And then cross your leg over you just a couple inches. Maybe like the length of a ruler. Flex your foot and see if you can feel a stretch along the outside of the leg through your IT band. Bring your leg back to center. Pull it in maybe a little bit closer. And then bend your knee into your chest, squeeze. And then lower your left leg down to the bottom of the mat. Let your arms come down by your side, maybe shake your hips a little. Good. Now walk your feet to the bottom right-hand corner of the mat. Reach your arms overhead and shimmy your shoulders to the upper right-hand corner for a stretch for your side. So think of your body here like the shape of a moon or a banana. Kind of breathing down into your left shoulder, ribs, and hips. And if you want to go deeper, you can even grab your left wrist with your right hand or cross your left foot over your right. You can keep your mouth closed, breathing deeply in and out of your nose. Relax the muscles of your face and let your body get still on the stretch. And then walk your arms up and over, kind of shimmy yourself back to the middle. Stretch your legs long to the bottom of the mat. Stretch your arms up, feet down, reach. Good, and then walk your feet down to the lower left-hand corner of the mat. You shimmy your shoulders to the upper left. And feel stretch down your right side here. Maybe cross your right foot over your left. Maybe grab your right wrist with your left hand. You can see you can keep your right hip and right shoulder pressing down. Stretching through that side. Breathing in. Letting go. You can feel a softness here, resting, relaxing. Breath in. Exhale. And walk your feet back down to the center of your mat. Shin your shoulders back to center. Stretch your arms up and overhead. So stretch your feet down, your arms up, reach up and down, top to bottom, stretch. Good. And then bend your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze again and you shift side to side. Good. Now place your feet down on the mat, bend your knees, and lift your hips up for bridge pose. You can press your hips up in the sky. Now maybe interlace your fingers behind your back, squeeze your shoulders together. Good. And slowly lower back down. Good. Walk your feet toward the edges of the mat. Drop your knees in towards one another. So knee position. So feet out, knees in. And feel that internal rotation. Good. And breathe here so you can get your whole back on the mat. Good, and then walk your feet underneath your knees again for another bridge, arms long by your sides. Exhale, and then inhale, lift your hips, press your chest out. Maybe you come into a full wheel pose, hands underneath your shoulders, straighten your arms and legs, and that's all the way up. Awesome. Or not. Good. And then slowly lower back down, taking your time, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice big squeeze. Good, so squeeze everything in, think about tensing up your shoulders, your face, your abdomen, your buttocks, curl your toes, squeeze, tense, tight hold. And then exhale and release your legs down. Arms come down by your sides, palms facing up. Your final rest pose, Shavasana. So if you're at home, if you have like a piece of material, you can put it over your face. Maybe drape a blanket over you or put a pillow underneath your knees. And now there's nothing left in the class for you to do but rest and relax. So allow your body to get really still here. So this really important aspect of our health and wellness journey that probably most of us don't do enough of. Letting yourself just kind of be here in stillness, rest and receive. Inhale, exhale. Shavasana, let go. notice and feel. Notice the sensations in the body. The difference between how you feel now and how you felt when you first began. You have any more qualities of restfulness, calmness. So just noticing and feeling here. Inhale. And exhale. And as you're ready, start to gently wiggle through the fingers and the toes. Rotate through your ankles and your wrists. Turn your head from side to side. And then stretch your arms up and your feet down. Bringing your body from the top to bottom. Stretch. And then bend your knees and give yourself a squeeze. Up a little side to side. And then roll onto your right side. I'm just going to pause on your side in fetal position. Resting here, you move your head on your arm. And so Shavasana, that final resting pose, is also called corpse pose. So you can think about it like the death of the small self. You step forward into your capital S self, so your best parts. So here on your side, maybe thinking about something you'd like to release or let go of or shed. Maybe an insecurity or a fear or a bad habit. And as you breathe in and exhale, think about it just kind of melting here on the mat, release and let it go. And then as you're ready, slowly press your way up to a seated position. You can spin around to face forward. Take your time. Sitting tall, maybe hands on your knees. And bring your hands to your heart, let your palms touch, tall through your spine. I'll just share with you a definition of the word namaste. So just that the light in me honors and sees the light in you. We should kind of close the class saying namaste. Gratitude. All right, thanks everyone. How do you feel? So I'm just going to take attendance and we'll do a little bit of lecture and I'll let you go early. And because I'm letting you go with like an hour and a half, or maybe like an hour of time left. At some point today, maybe it's right after class or later tonight, I want you to do a guided meditation. So you can download the app Insight Timer. And there's just like so many great meditation, free guided meditations out there. So as your gateway into meditation, I think it's really helpful to like listen to someone guide you. You could search like body scan meditation. I'll just kind of name all the parts and let your body relax. So it's like simple. So I want you all to do a meditation after class at some point today. And so just taking attendance real quick. Trevor B. Great. And Ben, Hannah is here. Ray is here. Lauren on Zoom. Nope. Dylan is here. Christina emailed me. Walker's on Zoom. Hey, Walker. Jalen, and Denzel is here. Adam, Grace is here. Awesome. Jaylene. You are two E's.
Yes.
And you are one. So you have the exact same name, except you have an extra E. Jaylene. Okay. Sorry, I'm the worst. And Jenna is not here. And Ryan. Cool. All right. So I'm just going to share a little bit about kind of like the history of yoga. So I think that's also a great kind of question to ask, like, what is yoga throughout this course? Like, I saw a really funny meme yesterday that was like, is this a yoga class or like a Jane Fonda workout video? Because I think a lot of times, do you guys know who Jane Fonda is? She was like in charge, not in charge of it. She was kind of the first like group exercise lady in the 80s when like group exercise became popular, like, you know, like leotards and mirrors and funny music. So I think yoga has, in America right now, has kind of turned into a very like fitness culture. And like the roots of yoga is all about like meditation and spiritual principles and quiet and calm and relaxation. So I was having a conversation about that with a yoga teacher friend the other day, that like we come into yoga and like there's heat and there's a lot of music and there's mirrors and there's all these like distractions, and we're just kind of like strengthening the parts of us that we want to like control and tune into. So all that like chaos and distraction and noise, we kind of create that in the yoga class. So that's why a slower practice like this can be really nice to kind of go in. So I'll just share with you some notes from one of my teacher trainings about kind of what is yoga, which we've gone over again, but it's always nice to have different perspectives. So Timothy McCall, who's a doctor with yoga as medicine, says yoga is as close to a one-stop shopping as you can find, if you think about like your wellness journey. So a classical definition, what is yoga? Yoga is derived from the Sanskrit, so the ancient language in Indian that a lot of the poses are in. So the Sanskrit root yuj, meaning to bind, to join, to attach, to yoke, so connection, to direct and concentrate one's attention on, to use and apply, also means union or communion. So it is the true union of our will that with the will of God. So some people think yoga is connection like our breath with our body with our spirit, or connecting us to God, the divine, whatever your idea, perspective is of that. So maybe even something just bigger than you. So yoga is a timeless, pragmatic science evolved over thousands of years, dealing with the physical, moral, mental, and spiritual well-being of man as a whole. Kind of what we were talking about, like the 8 limbs of yoga. It's not just asana, right? Postures, it's the yamas, and the yamas, and the pranayama, and all the different things. Yoga is one of the 6 orthodox systems of Indian philosophy that was systematized in 200 BC by Patanjali, author or representative of the Yoga Sutras, which is one of our main texts. So the Yoga Sutras consists of 195 aphorisms covering the science of yoga. And in your textbook, The Heart of Yoga, there's a translation of the Yoga Sutras, which is pretty great. You can refer to. It'll have the iconography of the Sanskrit, which is kind of beautiful, and then the sutra, and then a little commentary, a little paragraph kind of interpreting the sutra. So there are 4 classical yogas. They are karma yoga, which means right acts, selfless actions; bhakti yoga, which means loving devotions; and raja yoga, which is meditation. And the last is jnana yoga, which is inner wisdom, contemplation, enlightenment. So an applied definition is the practice of yoga is the effort, self-study, and dedication towards the fulfillment of dharma, life's purpose, and the evolution of consciousness, enlightenment. So by maintaining a regular yoga practice, the mind follows the breath, finding a sense of peace while energy flows throughout and brings a lasting level of joy and peace. And you may have felt that after class right now, just kind of more relaxed, more centered, more calm. Your body feels a little more like stretched out, strong, energized. So the purpose of yoga facilitates dharma and brings awareness to a higher consciousness by strengthening, quieting, and controlling the mind, body, and spirit. And so dharma is an interesting idea in yoga philosophy. So you all might be kind of figuring out what your dharma is right now. So dharma is kind of like your soul's like work, like what you were put on this earth to do. So you might think of like, oh, dharma, that's like your life's purpose. So it's like, it's my life's purpose to be a lawyer, or it's my life's purpose, I'm going to go and be like an accountant, or like what you're majoring in. But sometimes our dharma isn't necessarily what our career is. Sometimes it is. Like for me, I feel like as a yoga teacher, it's like my dharma to teach, and that's also my career, which is really special and lucky for me. And I think a lot of people in like a creative field also will feel that way, like artists or musicians. And sometimes, you know, you have your career and your dharma is something super different. So maybe your dharma is like to have a family, or to volunteer at a soup kitchen, or to be part of like an organization, but you have like your day job and like what you do to make a living. So that's kind of interesting with like what your soul's purpose is. And I think right now this is a really great time for you in college to kind of be figuring out like what are you passionate about, and what do you feel like your like purpose is on this planet. I think some of us maybe weren't ever told like you should really like dive deep and journal and think about like what you want to do and like how you want to serve and what you want your impact to be and your legacy. So these are all kind of like reflective questions you can think about in regards to dharma. I think we've also talked a little bit about the koshas. So there's this whole mind-body connection, and there are 5 layers in the body. So increasing awareness of the physical, emotional, or spiritual body layers affects some or all of the other layers. So they're called the koshas. So our physical body is called the Annamaya kosha. So it's called like the food sheath. So we can like connect to the body by moving, noticing what we're eating or drinking or not eating or not drinking. So like this physical layer. Then there's the Pranamaya kosha, which is the energetic system. So it includes the chakras. You may have heard of like, or seen like pictures of like 7 like wheels, vortexes in the body. So we can connect to the Pranamaya kosha by deepening our breath, meditation, that sort of thing. The third layer is the Manamaya kosha, which is like the mental and emotional habitual patterns. So noticing like where your thoughts go, what you tend to do with your day, with your time. So your mental life, your mental experience. Are you always in your head, or do you not reflect enough, that sort of thing? And then the 4th layer, as we go down is the Vijnana Maya kosha, which is the internal witness, the observer that allows transformation. So it's like going deeper into like your intelligence and kind of asking those deeper questions, like that voice in my head, like, who is it like talking to me? Is that me? Is that my conscious? Is that my ego? So all these kind of interesting things. And then the last layer of the koshas is the Ananda Maya kosha. So Ananda means bliss. So that bliss, happiness, like authentic self. So when you're in that kind of state, connecting with your Ananda Maya kosha, maybe it's like when you're in a flow state, when you're playing like the sport you really like to play, or when you're like with your dog or young kids or with your best friends and you're just like laughing and having a good time. Or maybe it's like after a yoga class and you're just like super blissed out and relaxed, or you're like hiking in nature. I think we should all try to do more things that make us happy, that make us blissful, like putting it on your to-do list, like have fun and like laugh today and like make someone smile. And so like all these little things so we can like connect to our highest selves and have our like really great experience, because this is like the only time, depending on what your beliefs are, that we'll be here. We only have this one lifetime, so making the most of it. So yeah, just more on the koshas. The mental and physical benefits of practicing asana and pranayama are very powerful in handling stressful situations in a more relaxed manner. So stress management, quieting and focusing the mind, encouraging positive thoughts and self-acceptance, increasing relaxation, flexibility, balance, strength, heightening cardiovascular conditioning, lowering blood pressure, weight management, strengthening bones, improving immune function, and delivering an overall increase of oxygen supply to the body. So at any time, like hopefully that sounds like really good. You're like, oh wow, I would love to like lower my blood pressure and increase like flexibility and boost my immune system. And especially like in 2020, right? We all want to like have really strong, healthy immune systems so we can fight anything that might come our way. And everyone, I think, has like heightened levels of stress. I think it's pretty stressful being a human right now, if you're in college or whatever age you are. So every time we do a yoga practice, every time you do a meditation, you can think about strengthening the muscles of relaxation. So if you like go to a gym and you're like, all right, I'm gonna do like bicep curls all the time, every day. And you're like, look at my muscles. I'm like so jacked. I look amazing. Or like if you've ever been on like any sort of thing, like once you do it every day, or it gets easier with like running, like first run in a long time, you're like super winded. You just like run up the block and walk. And then a couple days later, you start to like run a little farther, and then you can run a mile, and then you can run a couple miles. So just like in a physical fitness, which you might see improvements in yoga as well for that, with our kind of relaxation, you're strengthening that muscle too. So hopefully when we like lie down on the mat, it gets easier to still your thoughts and quiet the mind and settle your thinking. So strengthening those stress management, relaxing things. Okay, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. On Thursday, we'll go over the 8 limbs of yoga a little bit more. We'll kind of review the first 4, the yamas, niyamas, asana, and pranayama. And then we'll go over the next 4. And I'm going to check your mindfulness journals. So you should have 6 entries. 5 today. Thursday will be 6. So yeah, 5 entries. And that's it. We'll see you on Thursday. And if you, if anything's going on as far as like your health, you have to quarantine, all the things you have to go on Zoom, just be sure you're communicating with me so I can know when you're attending and if you're watching the YouTube videos playback. Yep.
So I'm doing my journal